My mic was muted. Yo, what's up? How y'all doing, man? Hope y'all all good today. This is basically the trade recap from Friday. Yeah, this is a trade recap from Friday. Basically, I took those buys on gold. Let's see. Still have it open here. Should be here. There we go. Yeah, so about these buys, I was already journaling them, so I'll just finish that up right now. But I want to talk about this trade in terms of just a trade idea and what I could have done better and just recap it. But alright, so going back to the trade, this is what I put on my notes. 1 second, let me go get my laptop. One second, guys. Let me just make sure I can hear myself on stream. Alright, there we go. So, for the trade, notes on the trade were bad read. The 4 hour was closing strong bearish back into the range. So at the time when I entered the trade, it was 3:30, and this 4 hours. This was the. So look, yeah. So the 12 a.m. candle closed bearish, and then this candle was the. Oh no, this was the 8 p.m. candle. The 8 p.m. candle closed bearish. And then the 12 a.m. candle opened up, and then around 3:30 I entered my trade. So I entered the trade at 3:30, roughly somewhere around here. 23:50. What's my entry? Let me see. Turn this music, bro. Why do I have an alarm? Bro, why does that seem so loud? Alright, I hope you guys can still hear me good. Yeah, so this was the 12 a.m. candle, and it closed at 4 a.m. bearish. But the thing that I'm looking at now is like, I entered at 3:30.
If you're not on Jobber,
so at that time,
it's legit.
I'm looking at the 3 hour candle.
Everything in your business. I started using.
So at that time, if the 4 hour was gonna close bearish back into, you could say it was closing back into this range, right? And we're still overall bearish, right? Because we still hadn't. Because you see, I think we would need a break. Let me see. So either way, you were closing back into this range, you could say, and this candle needed to make a bottom wick. The next 4 hour would need to make a bottom wick somehow, or some type of bottom wick. So honestly, the better trade would have just been waiting for the 4 hour close and then taking sells. Because it just didn't make sense for me to enter buys on this position. My entry was up here. Yeah, so the 4 hour ended up closing. Like, even if I entered on 3:30 candle, even as the 4 hour closed way below my entry, like, the trade was invalid, because what I was looking for on the trade was something like this. I was looking for this candle, right? This 30-minute candle to just pop back up, like for this just to be a demand zone, and for this 30-minute candle to just start popping back up. But no, it was closing back in the range. So if anything, I should have looked for, well, no, because I've took these plays where I consider them liquidity, but at this point the previous 4 hour had closed bearish, and then we were just coming down heavy. Like, I should have been more just knowing how gold moves sometimes, or it can move. I should have been more, I would say, careful in my entry and waited for the 4 hour to close. What else could I say about this trade? And then I'll say management too. Yeah, so like I could have managed once this 4 hour closed in this range and my 30-minute idea didn't play out, because if the idea was off the 30-minute, that would mean the 4 hour would have been pulling back for that 30-minute candle, right? So this 4 hour shouldn't have closed like this if my overall trade idea was up here, right? So I could have managed on that closure. And then also, once we started getting closures back below, this is also why it may not be a good idea for me anymore to just take a trade on stream and then go to sleep. But no, I don't think so, because I think you can do that. It just comes with the territory and you knowing that you're taking that risk, right? So me being comfortable with this loss amount and whatever size account I have and putting on that size and being comfortable with that loss amount, knowing that that could be the potential loss. But yeah, I think the overall better, because okay, and another thing I want to talk about is like risk percentage and like logical stops. So here my only logical stops were this low, right? But if we're looking at this from just a trade idea, what type of candle play have I ever seen? Yes, I've seen it before, but it's very rare that you just get one bearish candle and then one huge engulfing candle that would completely cover that, because that's basically the idea I was looking for, and you don't see that very often. So no, if anything, you will see some structure and then you'll see us climb back up. You wouldn't just see a straight. Yes, it's possible, anything's possible in the markets, but it's very unlikely or improbable. And then also in terms of like stop loss and just risk percentage, I think my overall stop could have just been like a 1% stop in terms of like my account balance. So I think it would have been somewhere like here, right? And yeah, the thing would just be like, you're only giving this a few, like less than pips, 10 pips maybe, to make that bottom wick. You're not looking for a steep bottom wick here, because you're looking for this 4 hour to pull back, right? If the trade's off the 30-minute, because if not, then your 4 hours is going to end up closing below, and that trade's just invalidated because it just made lower lows. Like, it just completely breaks that low and it's just completely making new lower lows, so the trade idea is just not valid no more. So your stop could have just been like 1% instead of just, because you could say, well, it's not the logical stop. Well, yes, it's not the logical stop, but the trade idea you're taking is also a more improbable stop. So your stop loss should just be like just 1% is the only idea you're giving it, or whatever is like logical, because that just makes sense to me, right? Because having it all the way down here, it's like I'm risking, let's say it's 3% or 10% is what I lost on a trade. I won't lie to you. It's like that risk reward is just like, it won't work. So you can do either 1%, or if you were in the spot, if you were in the other trade idea and you were in the sales, your stop still could have been 1%. And it still wouldn't have got tapped, or it could have been this high and you would have never got tapped out. So I think one thing I want to implement into my trading coming up, like in the future, in my next trading days, is to manage risk as we get closures below my entry. Because I think once your trade idea is invalidated, like on the higher time frames and like even sometimes on the smaller time frames, it doesn't make sense for you to hold that trade. And then also to start maybe just looking into having a standard 1% stop loss when there's no logical structure. So like here, yes, I could have this stop loss, but it's the logical one. But I'd much more rather just have a 1% stop loss, whatever that would be here. Let's say it's 1%, right? So say it's there, right? That still would have been better for me than to just have this, because I don't need this candle to make, at this point, it's not what I was looking for in the trade idea, right? So it's like, yeah. Also could have managed, why am I typing in caps? Manage my risk much better than I did. Since the next logical structure for stop loss was 350 pips, I could have did just 1% risk. What the heck, this is cool. I've never done this before. Y'all just seen that, bro? I never used this AI thing. Bad read, 4 hours closing strong. I made a bad read on this trade. The 4 hour chart was closing strong, bearish back into the range, the range. I entered at 3:30, so the next 4 hour candle still needed to make a bottom wick. Also, I could have managed my risk much better than I did. The next logical structure for stop loss was 350 pips, so I could have just risked 1% of my account. Dang, that's fire. Yo, that was fire. What? That was dope. I made barrier. Closing strong bearish back into. I've never used that before, so that's just like kind of cool. Alright, let's finish. Liquidity on the 30-minute squint entry. Stop loss level, 4 hour lows. Break even point. Didn't have it, bro. No. I think that's really it for this trade. I want to journal this on my other account.